Hello guys, hi, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for following and subscribing so far. Today we are making a trending two-piece trouser and a shirt. Okay, so we are starting with the shirt part today. I'll make another video separately from this for the trouser part because it's going to be a really long one if I should add both together. Okay, so for the shirt part, you fold in your fabric into two depending on the biggest part of your body, whether your waist or your hip or your bust. Okay, by leaving 2 inches in, you fold 2 inches in, serving as your placket or your opening for the shirt part. Then you take the length of the shirt as desired. So after you take the length of the shirt, you just mark it out and then you cut it out. This is going to serve as the front piece of our shirt. Don't forget that the shirt has an opening on the front, so you're going to leave 2 inches for that opening. Okay, so after we cut out the front, we fold back our fabric again into two, serving as our back piece. Then we place our front piece on the fold again. This time around, we are not adding any fold because the back doesn't have any placket, doesn't have any opening, so we just cut it on fold straight forward. Okay, so after placing the front piece on the folded back, we just take our shoulder measurement, our shoulder to shoulder measurement, then our shoulder slant measurement on the front piece, and then we cut it out on the front piece. We are not cutting it out on both pieces, we are just cutting it out on the front piece. So your shoulder to shoulder measurement and your shoulder slant. Afterwards, you cut it out. So after cutting it out, we are going to extend the back shoulder by 2 inches. So after cutting it out, having your slant, you measure across 2 inches upwards on the back piece, like so, and then you slant and then you cut it out. Guys, I'm so sorry that my chalk was faint. I didn't realize it after recording the whole video was when I realized that the chalk was really faint, that you could barely see a thing. Please forgive me. Okay, so after, the reason for that 2 inches extension at the back is just so you could fold it back on the front like this. We just want the shirt to relax. After we join our color, we want it to relax, so we just extend it at the back by 2 inches. Then we fold it back on the front like this, and then we retake our shoulder measurement and then our chest measurement or our bust measurement. And then we connect our shoulder to our bust measurement or our chest measurement, chest line, to create our armhole. I use the other chalk as well, but I thought it was rather faint, not knowing this one was rather faint. I'm so sorry. Okay, so afterwards I just take my measurement. Remember, this is a loose shirt, so we are not going to make use of waist measurements. It's just your chest measurements or your bust measurements and your hip measurements, depending on the length of your shirt. If it is up to your hip bone or beneath your hip bone, you just make sure you include your hip measurement so that you can have a free movement. Okay, so for the neck side, I'm just going to go in 3 by 3 inches. 3 inches for the depth, 3 inches for the width of the neck. And then I create my circle and then I cut. So I'm going to flip the fabric so you can see. I'm trying as much as possible for you to see what I'm doing. So for the neck, you take the neck width 3 inches, and then you take the length 3 inches as well. You mark, then you connect. Now here is where the trick is when cutting. Make sure you lift just the front piece and then you cut. Don't cut it together with the back piece. Just lift the front piece and then you cut that out like so. And then for the back piece, when you get there, you just extend it a little. You just extend the fold a little in and then you cut. Please don't cut your front and back together. You're going to have some kind of neck that you wouldn't want afterwards. So you just lift the front and then you cut, and then you pull down the shoulder back piece and then you cut. Alright, so afterwards I just notch the shoulder and then the side as well. Okay, so this is all for the cutting of the shirt. We're just left with our sleeve. So for the sleeve, this is a short sleeve, so I'm going to make do with 10 inches length sleeve, and then I take my around arm as well. This is a loose sleeve, so you can take your normal sleeve and you add either 1.5 inches extra or 2 inches extra to it, and then you mark your armhole. You just connect, and this is for the sleeve part as well. Okay, so I'm going to notch the sleeve as well. All the notches I'm making just so you'd equally place everything. You know that this notch is to this notch, so make sure that at the end of the day everything is falling in place. Okay, so for the back, I'm just quickly creating a back yoke for the back, just the yoke for the back. So I place the back on my pieces of fabric left, and then I cut a yoke for it. The yoke can be the length of 8 or 10 inches, which is fine. So guys, this is all we need for the shirt, with the exception of the color. So we have 2 pieces for the front when we open our fold, and then we have 1 piece for the back, and then 2 pieces of sleeves. This is all we need for the front, or the shirt, sorry, the shirt. Okay, so I bring back one part of the front, and then I apply my interface on it. That is where we are going to use for our placket. So we need a placket to be stiff and strong. So I apply my interface on it, and then I fold it in by 1 inch. Remember, we left 2 inches, or we folded in 2 inches. So I just only need a placket of 1 inch. So I fold it in and then iron it, giving me 1 inch placket, or 1 inch for my opening. So to secure the placket, I just iron in my hemming glue to make it stay. Okay, so for the back yoke as well, I'm going to fold down part in by 1/2 inch, then bring back my back itself and place the yoke on top of the back like so. So I'm going to place the yoke on top of the back as I'm doing, and then secure it with my hemming gum. My fabric is quite shaky, so I don't want it moving all about, so I'm just going to secure it with my hemming gum. As you can see, it's no longer moving. Okay, so after this is done, I'm just going to top stitch on it, and then top stitch the area of the placket as well on the front, and then lay it on each other like this. 1 piece of the front to the shoulder, 1 shoulder of the back, as so. So this is how I'm going to place them in sew. So I'm going to sew then the shoulders together, Then I'm going to sew the sides together. Remember, I notched the area that I'm going to sew already. So I'm just going to sew 1/2 inch on the shoulder and then the sides, and then attach my sleeve. And that is going to be all for the shirt for now. We are 90%, okay, no, not 90, like 20% done, because the color is a big deal. So I'm going to quickly join it and come. All right, welcome back. So this is the finished look of our shirt, the 20% finished look of our shirt, because the 80% we are about to do. So for the color, we take the round neck measurement after joining our shirts. This is the reason why we didn't cut the shirt, we didn't cut the color initially, because we are supposed to join it together before we measure and then find it. This I got about 17. So I'm going to cut the color on my interface. So I fold my interface into 2 and then take the round neck measurement that I got from measuring the neck on the shirt, which is about, I think, 19, 17. Yeah, sorry, 17, 18. So I'm going to make do with 18. Just measure exactly, and then you get the exact number to use. I've forgotten how much mine was, but I think it's 18. Yeah, it's 18. Please be sure. Okay, so I measure my 18, and then I just want a neck stand of 1 inch. So I make it 1 inch, and then my color itself, I'm going to make use of 3 inch. So first you mark one straight line of 9 inches, because 9 plus 9 is 18, giving me my round neck of 18. And then I go upward by 1 inch, making the length or the depth of the color. And then I mark a second line, which is 8. Then I connect the 8 point to the 9 point with a curve. Okay, then on the 3 inches that I added to it, I'm just going to mark my color and then shape it down. So on the next stand, the reason why I curved it is because when you look at a shirt, any shirt that you take, you would realize that the closing part of the shirt at the top is curved, because you can't have it straight like that. Okay, well, you can have it straight, which is also a style, but mostly it's curved. So afterwards, this is what we have. I cut it out, and this is what we have. One portion for the stand and one portion for the color itself. So I place the interface on the leftover of my fabric first, and then I iron, making sure it stays. Then I cut it out, leaving half cheese. Am I getting for cheese? When was the last time I even ate cheese? Okay, all right. So leaving 1/2 inch all around it, I place back my neck stand on it, again leaving 1/2 inch all around it. Make sure you don't cut it equally as the interface. Please leave 1/2 inch all around it. Very, very, very important. So after cutting that out, on the down part of this, the 1/2 inch that I left, I'm going to fold it on it, demarcating an area that I'm going to use to attach to the neck. Okay, so I'm going to find the midpoint of my color, both on the color and both on the stand and the color. Afterwards, I take the part of the stand with the interface and then top stitch. After top stitching it, I also sew around my color, just leaving the down part open to turn it out. So after sewing it, I just trim the excess off, and then remember the down parts, yes, I turn it out and then iron. So after ironing, I'm going to sandwich the color into the stand like this, matching the notches together, making sure the notches are facing each other. So the notch is just serving as a point for me to keep everything in equally. So you sandwich the color into the stand like this. And then pin it to ensure that you can sew it easily. Guys, sewing this thing is no joke, but I'm sure you're good at it. With just patience. Okay, so I'm going to sew all around, leaving the ½ inch left. That area you're not going to sew, you're not going to fold it and sew, because you're going to attach that area to your shirt. So when sewing, bear in mind, leave that area out. Don't sew that area, just leave it hanging like that. Okay, so I am easily, effortlessly, not suffering at all sewing this curve of a color. After sewing it, I trim off the bulk excess as usual. And then I quickly turn it out. I'm also going to press it so that it lies down flat as neatly as possible. As you can see, the ½ inch is still laying there. Okay, so after ironing, I bring it back and then I notch the midpoint again. I'm also going to find the midpoint of my shirt and then notch again, and then match midpoint to midpoint or notch to notch on the shirt. So from the wrong side of my fabric, I'm going to attach my color, the part with the ½ inch allowance. I'm going to match midpoint to midpoint, all from the wrong side, right, of the fabric or the wrong side of your shirt. And then pin. You can pin it all around. I mean, if you are a beginner, even if you're a pro like myself, sometimes you still need to pin. It's very necessary to pin. Don't think you're a pro. Okay, so then I sew it. After sewing the side, again, you notch the areas to make sure it is relaxed. Since it's a curve, you're going to make sure you notch those areas. And then you bring back the part or the portion with the interface to cover the portion that you just sewed, right? Bring back that area, you fix it in, and then you top stitch on it, making sure your top stitch is taking both sides, right? Fold the area, push the area that you sewed into the other side with the interface, and then top stitch so that you can have a really neat finish. Okay guys, so without much ado, this is what we have at the end of the day. So you're just going to create your buttonholes and then put your buttons on it. We are done with the shirt, and this is how it looks. Pretty nice, right? It looks very, very nice. Very, very nice and quite easy to make. So follow the steps and then you're good to go. As usual, I'm going to put it on this time around. I'm going to let my friend put it on because it's for her. I made it for her, so I'm going to let her put it on. Okay, my beautiful people, this is my friend putting on the 2-piece. We just made the shirt part today. If you'd like to see the video of the trouser, let me know. I already have a video of a trouser, but if you want to have the video of this particular one, let me know. Thank you. Subscribe for me, like it. Bye.